Welcome to the Power of Biz YouTube channel. My name is Tim Delaney, and over the past 11 years, I've purchased businesses and real estate to build my financial independence. My journey began with buying my first business with just 10% down, and through hard work and strategic decisions, I've been able to create the life that I want. I started this channel to share my story and experiences with the hope that I can help you do the same. Whether you're looking to break free from the 9-to-5 grind, build long-term wealth, or take control of your financial future, you're in the right place. Join me as we explore the ins and outs of buying businesses, the challenges and rewards, and the practical steps you can take to create the life you desire. Together, we'll navigate this exciting journey to financial freedom.
If you're thinking about buying a business, you might wonder, where do I even start? Today I'm going to cover some strategies I have for finding a business that's right for you. Whether you're looking for a local shop or a large manufacturing operation, I'm going to go over some of these strategies that can help you find a business that's right for you to purchase and kickstart your financial life. So, where do you start? One of the primary areas to go to when you're looking for a business is business brokers. These are especially important if you are shopping for something local in your area. These are like real estate brokers, like real estate agents that you might, you see their signs up everywhere when houses are being bought or sold. Business brokers specialize in buying and selling businesses. They connect the sellers and the buyers. One of the key differentiating factors, though, between a business broker and a real estate broker is that brokers of businesses don't share their listings with other brokers. So now in the real estate world, when you hire a real estate agent to sell your house, that agent puts your house out to all of the different brokers via the MLS system, the multiple listing service, so that every single agent, no matter which broker they work for, is able to see that your house is for sale and reach out to your agent to discuss the sale, show their clients, and show them. Back in the day, that wasn't the case, even with real estate, but now agents are able to widely spread it. With businesses, these are often times the owners don't necessarily want the whole world to know that their business is for sale. They're worried about employees leaving, they're worried about customers leaving, they're worried about landlords or other issues that might come up if they start advertising that they're for sale. Sometimes people have a negative connotation. They think that the business might be going out of business, it's not doing well. So very often when a business owner is trying to sell their business, they're trying to keep it somewhat quiet and not publicly advertise it. So there's a lot of different brokers, depending on what market you're in or what industry you're in. There are a variety of different brokers out there that are working with different businesses. So it's important that you don't just go to one, but that you network and you try to talk to all of the different brokers that are operating in your area or in your industry that you're interested in, because each one of those brokers will have their own listings and they do not share them. It's their listing only. So if XYZ business is for sale with broker A, broker B will never know about that until the sale is public months, years down the road. This is a very important thing when you're talking to brokers. Don't just stop at one. Try to visit as many as you can. Now, when you're talking to brokers, some of them will want to know how you plan to buy the business. They want to do a little bit of vetting because, like I said, these sellers are trying to keep things a little bit quiet. And even though the broker is going to probably have you sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, that forbids you from talking publicly about this business that they're going to share with you, they're still a little hesitant to just start willy-nilly sharing this information with anybody that walks into their office or gives them a call or shoots them an email. So they might want to vet you as a potential buyer before they share information with you. So just be prepared for this a little bit. You shouldn't have to jump through hoops. I've dealt with brokers that wanted to see months and months of bank statements I didn't feel comfortable with. I've dealt with brokers that just wanted to know a little bit more about me, what my background, what my history was, which is fair enough. They got to get comfortable with you as a potential buyer so that they know they can trust you with the information that they're sharing with you, so that they don't sour their relationship with their sellers. Another thing that helps with brokers, and I guess in general overall, is to kind of have a criteria of what you're looking for. One of the things that I have been very poor about in the past is just looking for kind of any opportunity that presented itself in the right way. I've always said no to restaurants and bars, things like that. I just don't have an interest in dealing with that type of industry. So I do know that. But other than that, I've kind of been a little bit willy-nilly about what I'm willing to look at and what I'm willing to possibly do. And that hurts me in a search process because it's hard for a broker or a website or an accountant or anybody, any of the other ways that I'm going to talk about finding businesses from helping me, because I'm not necessarily top of mind when they hear about X, Y, and Z business being for sale, because I don't have that crystal clear specific type of business that I'm looking for. So if you are able to, that is one key thing that you should do prior to even starting your search or prior to talking to a broker about. In addition to brokers, another great resource out there is websites. There are a number of websites out there that list businesses for sale. bizbuysell.com, LoopNet, which is more of a commercial real estate website, but they also have some businesses. And there's a few others out there as well that will list businesses for sale. Sometimes the seller themselves lists these businesses, and they will oftentimes be masked. They won't necessarily have the exact name or address of the business. It'll just be more of a generic industry and some generic numbers to see if you're interested before signing an NDA. But a lot of times it's brokers themselves that are listing on these sites. So when you find a business, when you're looking at reaching out, before you even do the reach out, make sure you know whether you're going to be reaching out to the actual seller themselves or a broker. If you already have a relationship with the broker's office that is listing that business, reach out to the person that you talk to in that brokerage instead of just cold calling, cold emailing a new person in that broker. Some of these brokers have dozens of brokers working in an office, and just because you have a relationship with one of them already doesn't mean that when you see a business online listed by another broker in that same office that they're going to know who you are. So it's sometimes a little bit quicker and easier if you reach out to the person that you already know. These websites change a lot. Businesses listed, delisted. One of the things I have found in the past is that brokers will oftentimes leave businesses posted online much longer than after they're already under contract or even sold as lead magnets to get people in the door. A lot of brokers' offices, from my experience, also sell franchise opportunities, which if you're interested in that, starting a new franchise, fine. But one of the things I have felt in the past is you kind of get a little misdirection sometimes. You see a business online, you're interested in it, you ask the broker for more information, and they say, oh, that just sold. But I have XYZ franchise opportunity in that industry if you want to start your own franchise. And they'll sell it. They'll give you a good sales pitch as to why it's interesting, which, again, fair enough if that's your thing. If you want to start from scratch with a franchise backing you, not the end of the world. There's a lot of people that have found success doing that, but it might not be the business that you originally reached out about. So just pay attention to that. That's one of the downsides of looking at listings online is sometimes they're old or stagnant or already sold, or sometimes the broker just lost their contract. Like with real estate, a broker signs a contract for 6 months, a year, whatever it is, to try to sell that business. And if they don't do it in that time, the broker loses their ability to sell that business for a commission. So they're not going to tell you what business or whether it's still available if that listing has expired for them. Some of the good brokers, if you express interest, will go back out to that business and say, hey, I got somebody on the hook. Do you want to sign a new agreement? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But just be aware that some of the businesses you find online are not actually going to be available anymore. In addition to brokers and websites, another great way to find businesses is just general networking. So if you're in a job Just start letting people know in your industry that you're looking for an opportunity to buy a business. The more you talk about it, the more people will know. Go out and find other people and other businesses. Join a chamber of commerce, join a Rotary club, join a Lions club, whatever, these professional organizations that a lot of business owners tend to be a part of. Even if you work for a large corporation, your corporation might be a member of a chamber of commerce already. Or maybe you can encourage them to join a local chamber of commerce so that you can go to the meetings and network on behalf of your company. Depending on what your role is in the company, could you contribute to the community that way, make it a community effort, or could you be using it as sales leads for your existing company? But at the same time, you're networking, you're meeting other small business owners in the community that could potentially lead to buying one of their businesses in the future. Or when you let them know that you are looking for a business, that they might know their friend that hasn't publicly said anything yet, but is on the way out and is looking to sell. Part of that networking effort as well, there's those organizations, but just the businesses that you shop at, that you frequent. Start talking to those owners. Make it a point to introduce yourself, especially in industries that you're interested in. Coming back to finding that specific, and maybe the industry you're interested in is not necessarily a public-facing company where you're just going to walk in off the street and introduce yourself, which makes this strategy a little bit more difficult. But if it is a retail environment or a more business B2C, business to consumer type facing business, go in, introduce yourself to the owner. Ask the owner if they know of anybody else in the industry that might be looking to retire or sell their business in the future. You don't have to approach them about selling their business, but ask them if they know other people that might be interested in selling. Ask them if you can take them to lunch or coffee to learn about the industry because you're interested in it, because you might want to buy a business in the future. There are going to be some owners that are highly competitive, don't want to share any information, don't want to talk to you, but more than likely you will find some that are more than happy to share information about their industry, their business. Entrepreneurs, business owners are often considered very lonely professions. They don't get to talk business with a lot of their normal friends and family. So having the opportunity, having somebody that expresses an interest in their business and their operations and how things work is kind of a breath of fresh air for them sometimes. And they'll sit down and spill everything to you. And then through the course of that, they might remember, oh yeah, that last time I saw Fred from the hardware store across town, he mentioned that he was thinking about retiring and he didn't know what he was going to do with the business. Ask for introductions that way. The other form of networking, so we've talked about brokers, talked about websites, just general networking with other business owners. You can also network with professional advisor type roles. Think accountants, lawyers, financial planners. These are the people that deal with small business owners all the time. They know their customers, and while they're not necessarily always the first to know that somebody is going to be selling, if you're on their mind when they meet with their client and their client says, yeah, you know what, I'm thinking about retiring in 2 years and moving to XYZ place. If you've had lunch or coffee or had a conversation with that accountant or lawyer or financial planner recently and reminded them that you're looking to buy a business in this industry, your name might pop up right away. Be like, hey, you know what? I know a guy that's looking for a business in your industry. And hopefully that they can make that connection. Oftentimes if you're avoiding a broker, saving a commission, whether you give that accountant a finder's fee or whether the seller gives them a finder's fee, it can be in everybody's best interest to go that route. Industry events. So if you know you want to be in a particular industry, look up the conventions and the trade shows and the things that are going on in that industry. If possible, if you can get into the trade shows, some industries are very tight on who they let in. Some are a little bit more open. But if you can go in and start networking and meeting people, that's another great way to find these business owners. You might also meet suppliers to that industry, which, the people that are selling them equipment or ingredients or things like that might have a better ear to the ground of who's looking to sell, who's older, who's looking to retire, all those kinds of things. When I had my wine and liquor store under contract, about a week after I put it under contract, I heard about a trade show coming up in my local area. I went to that trade show. I asked, without violating any of my non-disclosure information about which store I was buying, I let people know that I was buying a store. I asked all kinds of questions about the industry, about where people saw it going, what the trends were. It kind of opened my eyes and gave me much more information about the industry and the trends that I could use when I actually bought the business. Had I thought about it more, or had I been interested in that specific industry a year prior, I probably would have gone to that trade show then, and who knows, I could have met 2 or 3 other owners that were looking to sell at the time, because there were a few other stores that sold right after mine. Could have saved ourselves a lot of hassle with brokers. Direct mail campaigns. Again, if you know specifically what industry, what type of business you want to be in, putting together a list of those companies that fit that criteria and sending a letter, handwritten, hand typed, whatever. The more personal you can make it for each of those businesses, depending on how big that list is, explaining who you are, what you want to do, that you're interested in the business. If they don't know anybody, can they refer you to somebody else that might be interested in selling their business? This type of approach tends to work better if you're already in that industry and looking to add on or acquire another business, an ancillary business, whether a competitor or whether a up or down vertically integrated company. But it's still possible to give it a shot for a newbie. I've personally written letters to self-storage facilities near in my location that I've seen that I think I can improve operations for. So I'll sit down and handwrite a letter to the owners, mail it out every once in a while, so that hopefully when that person is ready to sell, I'm the first on their list that they're going to reach out to. So that's another method. Just general marketing. You could establish yourself online as somebody looking for a business. Put it out there on your social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever the case may be. Just continually putting it out there to your professional and personal networks that you're interested in buying a business, especially in this field or that field, so that people are aware of what you're looking for, what you want to do, and they might have ideas or thoughts for you. You could also find potential partners or financiers or other professionals that might be willing to help you, even if it's not in actually buying that particular business. So, kind of in summary, we have brokers, websites, networking through chambers or direct networking with businesses, professional service people, direct outreach, direct mail, cold calling, all these different ways of finding businesses for sale. There is really no one way that's going to find you a business magically overnight. It's just really important, as with any kind of marketing, to be consistent. Just keep at it, keep looking, keep talking to people, and eventually the right business will come your way. This is not like buying a house where there are 50 on the market at any given time, and you're choosing between one of those 50 because you need to move in the next 4 to 8 months. This is something that's going to be your life, your career for a while. Make sure you take your time. There's not always going to be a big variety out there at any one given time, but eventually you'll find the right thing if you keep at it and keep consistent. Really hope this helps. I'd love to hear your comments if you have other ways of finding a business or something that's worked for you, or whether something you've tried that hasn't worked or it has worked, whatever the case may be. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this video with somebody that you know that is looking to buy a business. Cheers.